Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Yankee Stadium.
All right, welcome back. And welcome back to me. My internet is back on. Happy Friday the 13th. If you guys are fans of spooky season, Friday the 13th, this time of year, always makes my day. So we had some internet problems yesterday. Thank you to Aiden who filled in. And you did an exquisite job last night describing the game and all the action that went down and giving out the belt to Juan Soto with the walk-off. I was able to actually just sit back and enjoy the game. After about the third inning when I decided, all right, this recap is not going to happen. This live show is not going to happen for the first time in years. I said, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy the game. And it ended up being a pretty tight, pretty fun game. Even though it wasn't high scoring, it was 2-1 Yanks, but we had a great start from Nestor Cortes. Talk about that in a minute. Had the walk-off from Juan Soto. Had an opposite field home run from Gleyber Torres. Had a couple of really good at-bats from Jason Dominguez. And a really, really tight performance by the Yankees bullpen, especially Ian Hamilton, who was tremendous last night and looked every bit the pitcher he was before he got hurt. And that's huge for the Yankees as we go into the playoffs and we're looking for more swing and miss stuff out of the back end of that bullpen. Even Clay Holmes was getting in on it last night. He threw the ball well, had some swings and misses there in the 10th inning. So let's talk a little bit about Nestor Cortes because his velocity was up last night and he was absolutely dealing. I don't know if, maybe being taken out of the rotation and, pitching out of the bullpen in Chicago, kind of lit a fire under him. Nick Swisher on the postgame on Yes seemed to think so. And Nick Swisher was excited. I mean, that guy's got a lot of energy, man. I need to channel whatever that guy has. But Nestor was mixing and matching. He was elevating the ball really well. The cutter and the sweeper both looked really sharp. And really, he's been lights out his last couple appearances, 4 1/3 no-hit innings against the Cubs, and then last night 5 innings of 1-run baseball. And I'd have no problem with him getting a playoff start if the playoffs were to start right now. Obviously, there's still a couple weeks left, so anything can happen. But I also think he would be great out of the bullpen, especially with that elevated velocity. So I'm loving what we're seeing the last couple of starts from Nestor Cortes. Let's hope he can keep it up. Tonight, we got Clark Schmidt going, and Clark Schmidt was tremendous, just tremendous against the Cubs. The curveball was wicked. The movement on his fastball, it's not really a fastball, it's more of like a sinker. He doesn't really throw a four-seamer anymore, like a lot of pitchers. And his movement was late. It was sharp. He was effective. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Clark Schmidt can give us tonight on the Hill here on a Friday the 13th. As we approach the postseason, I want to talk about Dominguez, too, because he had some really, really solid at-bats last night. He had a 10-pitch at-bat from the left side of the plate that resulted in a base hit. He spit on some pitches that were just outside of the zone. He fouled off some tough breaking balls. I thought it was a really, really good at-bat. And then later on, from the right-hand side of the plate, he drew a walk. He took some pitches that were very close. He got the benefit of the doubt, I think, on maybe one call. But just some really positive signs. This goes back to what we saw from Dominguez during his first spring training appearance when he was, spitting on pitches that were just a hair outside and just had really professional at-bats, from the very start of spring training. So, obviously really good signs. Would not shock me if he has a big night tonight because he seems to be seeing the ball well. It's been kind of a low-scoring week if you throw out that 10-4 victory over the Royals. The offense really hasn't put much together, so we could use a big night from somebody. But we got a couple of voicemails. I'm going to get through them, and then I will see you on the postgame, barring any massive internet issues.
I live in New York City! I cannot believe you had the balls to do it!
I was excited about tonight. Back-to-back walk-offs going into the playoffs is awesome. I'd like to see a little bit more from the Martian. I know he's just kind of coming up, getting acclimated, but it'd be cool for him to have a big game somewhere down the line over here.
Whispering over there. I had to turn your volume up. Look, it's been, a few games for the Martian. And last night we mentioned he had better at-bats. You got to be patient with these younger players. It can take guys a while to get acclimated. And some guys never get acclimated at all. But we saw last year. We've already seen it from the Martian. We saw it last year. It's unlikely that somebody's going to burst onto the scene and be on fire 2 years in a row. I expected some growing pains, especially from the right side, because he only hit like 160 from the right side in the minor leagues this year. 213 career hitter in the minor leagues from the right-hand side. I had a question from Terrence yesterday. He texted me and said, do you think they should switch him to be only a left-handed hitter? Not yet. I want to see him get some reps from the right side. I want to see what he does with regular playing time at the major league level for a few weeks. Let's let him get through the postseason. There's no guarantee that he's going to start in the postseason. If he goes 2 for 30 down the stretch here, they'll probably start Verdugo. But I want to see him continue to develop, even though there might be, stretches like this where he looks a little bit overmatched. But last night, like we said, he seemed to get more comfortable and put together some good at-bats at least, and he had a base hit. So, and he looks comfortable in left field.
Concerned about Aaron Judge and his power outage. And as much as I love him as a hitter, a big power hitter, I'm concerned that he's not going to end up having the most home runs for the season. Ohtani's only 4 home runs behind him, and he gets pitched to as the leadoff hitter.
I'll just go on the record like I did in April and say I'm not concerned at all about Aaron Judge. As we look at his Baseball Savant rankings, you see he's in the 100th percentile in most categories, 99th percentile in bat speed, hard hit percentage, average exit velocity. Guy's a beast. Home runs are going to come. He's a little bit in between right now. And what I mean by that is he's a little bit late on the fastball. He's a little bit early on the breaking ball, but we're seeing him get closer. He had a home run that got knocked down by the wind in Wrigley. Last night, he hit the ball hard a couple of times. Would not shock me if he goes deep tonight. They're going to pitch to him, too, because, he has had this little bit of a streak. Would not shock me if he goes crazy beginning tonight. And we've seen that he can have extended hot streaks, right? So the only thing that worries me about Judge is the 5-game layoff before the division series. If you win the East, right, you get a first-round bye. And I'm worried that his timing will be thrown off over 5 games. But ultimately, I'm not concerned at all about Aaron Judge's performance. He's going to hit. He's going to hit home runs. He's too big not to. And ultimately, he's not slumping as bad as he was early on in the season. He's still hitting .319. He's still got a .453 on base percentage. And who cares if he doesn't lead the major leagues in home runs? Ohtani gets paid $700 million. He gets paid $300 million more than Aaron Judge. He should lead the league in home runs. He should lead the league in everything for that contract. So I'm not worried about it. And maybe, Aaron Judge doesn't even care. I think he's pretty much just concerned with winning, right? He just wants to win the division and win in the playoffs. And if that means, hitting line drives, then that's what it means. But the home runs are going to come from Aaron Judge.
Hey, Derek, how's it going? Just had a quick, question or inquiry even about the Yankees and how they perform against certain teams. We all kind of know the narrative at this point that they play really poorly usually against under 500 teams and better against over 500. And everyone likes to say that they kind of, play down to their competition. But it's just so strange to me. Why is that the case? You might think that they're, pressing and they think, okay, this team's bad, so maybe they're trying a little bit harder, which in baseball, the harder you try, sometimes the worse you perform. But it's just strange to me how, we're beating teams like the Royals, the Red Sox, these teams that are, the Royals are going to be in the playoffs and the Red Sox, we'll see. But then they lose. They lost in August so much against the likes of the Nationals. Even that 12-2 game against Chicago. So I just wanted to see your take on that. Why do you think they play down to worser teams?
I think it's a management thing. Aiden said last night that I wouldn't give the belt to Aaron Boone, but I absolutely would. I have a belt built for Aaron Boone, although I think that it could be partially his fault that the Yankees play down to their competition. It's the manager's job to get as much urgency and as much high-quality play as possible out of your guys. And the Yankees have just had too many games against bad teams where they didn't put forward the effort. They didn't play sound, fundamental baseball. Also, you can make the argument that the Yankees haven't put the best players on the field all season long because they've been trying to get as much as they could out of DJ LeMahieu. Now he's done for the season. So I think going forward, you're going to see the best team possible on the field, and you're going to see these guys try and sprint to the finish line because you want to win the division. You want to get home field advantage. You want those 5 days rest. Even though it can disrupt your timing a little bit, they have all these machines now that can throw, full speed, spin rate, all that stuff. And so you can maybe keep your timing going a little bit, but they want the rest. They want a few days to recover from this long season and enter the division series healthy. So they're gonna do everything they can to stay hot as we approach the playoffs. Quick word from my friend Alana Rizzo about Vuori, which is a clothing line that sponsors this program. And then I'll be back with a couple of more voicemails and just some final thoughts.
Hey, FT fam, it's Alana Rizzo. I can't stop talking about Vuori. Vuori is perfect if you are sick and tired of traditional old workout gear. I wear Vuori in all settings, not just in the gym, because honestly, it's comfier than whatever you're currently wearing. No joke. I'm wearing Vuori daily leggings right now. They're high-waisted with the drawstring and cupped ankles. They look good and they feel great. You're going to love them. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/foul. That's VUORI.com/foul. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/foul and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing.
Hey, Derek, this is Rob from Eastern Pennsylvania. I actually found out about your show a year ago when living in California. A big fan. I just want to say I thought Aiden did a great job while you were out without your internet. So, yeah, he did a nice recap. Just wanted to give him a shout-out. Take care.
That's a very nice thing to call in and say, and I'm sure Aiden appreciates it, and I'm going to make sure that he hears this message. So thanks for calling in. Look, yesterday was very stressful because it is difficult to do your job when you don't have internet. And I know everybody was expecting me for Yankees versus Red Sox, and you're expecting me in general because I'm here every night. But I, like everyone, am held to the limits of my technology, right? So, internet was just out for my area. I was able to go to the library during the day and do some work, but the library closed at 9 p.m. So they threw me out. And I had to figure out something else. I was going to go to my buddy's house and record, but he was not home. And so I was like, well, let me just see if Aiden can pinch hit for me in a big spot. And he did. And he did a great job. So thank you to Aiden. Also, I've been doing this show, this channel, since 2019. My first video was right when the Yankees signed Garrett Cole. And so I'm at the point now where it's gotten big enough where we've got a little bit of a following. We've established. I've put the work in. Every once in a while, at some point, I just might need like a mental health day or a day off next season. So I wanted to get Aiden some experience so that he could fill in. Because, if you guys watch Aiden, you understand that he knows baseball. He has a firm grasp on the analytics. He picks up on things that a lot of people don't. Which is one of the reasons that I wanted to bring him on. And we've also got Terrence out west, and he might pinch hit for me on some of the West Coast stuff next season. This year, I should be back for every single game the rest of the way. But next year, maybe I do 155 games instead of 162, and just take a game off per month to get the rest that I need to stay sharp all season. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in and supported the channel, even though I was not here for very much of the show. But I'll be back for tonight's game, so tune in for that. Yankees versus Red Sox. Clark Schmidt on the mound. Aaron Judge hitting the ball a little bit harder. Jason Dominguez having better at-bats. Those are my two picks for tonight. But let's get to the official NostraDerek prediction. All right, so this is going to be two separate predictions here. We're calling a home run from Aaron Judge, and we're calling a home run from Jason Dominguez. I love the at-bats both of them had yesterday, and I think it's going to carry over. Judge is going to snap his streak, and Dominguez is going to go deep for the first time since returning from the IL.
Ball game over.
If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community, have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.